What's going on, guys? Noah Brewer here. Super excited to get part 3 out. I know I've been super busy lately, taking on a bunch of clients, making sure that everything is good, managing the team, but spending time with coaching students. Just so you know, I'm actually out here doing this. I know in the first video I said that I was going to upload these consecutively, but when you manage it, when you manage over 30 clients now, it gets pretty crazy, and you can never really understand what's going to happen. But just got to deal with it. Just understand I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I actually own a business, and I actually do Facebook ads every single day. So at the same time of it being a con that I can't post every single day for you guys, it's also a pro because you know that I'm actually out here doing it. Ask anybody. I'm always on my laptop anyways. So but anyways, this is part 3 to the 0 to 6 figure series. Download the cheat sheet in the link link in the description, just so you can follow along. I'm going to be going over a little spreadsheet or a note sheet, whatever you want to call it, in this video. So if you want to follow along with that, make sure you download that and then follow along. But as for that, let's get into the video. So let's just get right into this. So steps to go from 0 to 6 figures. Step 3, I know there's a typo right here. I said step 2, whatever. Taking a product from 100 to 150 sales, 200 sales, 300 sales, to over 1,000 orders. Like over 1,000 orders, usually when you start seeing, multi 5 figures, and then you start going into the 6-figure realm once you hit like 2,000, 3,000 orders. Depends on the value of your product, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. Like basically just bringing this thing to its limit. Like how do you take a product from 150, 200 sales all the way to the point where you're going to be making bank, like the $2,000 a day, $3,000 a day, $5,000 a day, $6 a day, $7 a day, whatever it is, bring this thing to 200K in sales in a few months. This is the video for that. So excited to finally get this out here. I've been super busy. So sorry if you've been waiting for it, but just to recap, if you haven't seen the other videos, step 1, we went over product testing. We went over, what to do when you find a winning product and how to bring that to 100 to 150 sales, make it start getting consistent, start getting profitable. And now we're talking about how to bring that to its next level from that point. So let me set the scene. You have multiple campaigns bringing in sales every single day, multiple winning countries, and you should probably be profitable by this point. I've seen people not be profitable by this point, but at the least minimum, you should be break even. If you're losing money right now, you're either not following the strategy correctly or it's just not a good enough product. It's probably not going to be that scalable, but I would still give this section a shot just to see how it works. And another thing is, if you're following the strategy, your sales should be very consistent. You might have a bad day a week or something, or maybe a couple bad days, but you should have a consistent amount of sales. Like if you're doing $200 a day, you should be doing, 150 to $200 a day almost every day. That's a really good sign that you're ready to move on to the step, aside from how many orders you have. Now, something to keep in mind, and I mentioned this in my last video, 100 to 150 sales, I'm naming that the barrier point to enter step 3, but in reality, it's the minimum, the bare minimum. There's stores where we have, 300, 400 sales, and we still haven't moved on to the step just because the cold traffic is so profitable. We're just milking it. So when we do move on to lookalikes, they're going to work a lot better. So yeah, that's just the bare minimum. So keep that in mind as well. So I just put a little step-by-step thing to create a lookalike campaign. So essentially, once you hit over 150 sales, you're going to be ready to start testing lookalikes. Like I said, you might want to wait a little bit longer, but this is how I go about doing it. So I have a video on creating custom audiences. I shouldn't have to tell you how to do that. I already have a video on it. But you want to create your Pageview 180 custom audiences. And then once that populates, you want to create your lookalikes in your top 5 countries. So you just break down the worldwide campaign, look at the top 5 countries based on consistency and cost per purchase, like how many sales it has and its cost per purchase. And then add those countries into the lookalike when you create it. Okay. So wait for those to populate. You basically want to create a 1, 2, and 3%. And then once they're populated, create a new campaign. Expect to use the same page post ID. And what you want to do is you want to create 3 ad sets inside of that campaign, targeting 1 to 3% with the multiple country lookalikes. Now, this is going to be essentially your worldwide campaign, but it's for lookalikes and it's not on worldwide. It's just for the performing countries. So I want you to think of this as a worldwide testing campaign. We're basically putting the lookalikes out there and seeing which countries perform the best with lookalikes. Same thing that we do with worldwide with cold traffic. So another thing is just treat it like a normal campaign, but instead of adding new interests every day, add the next level up lookalike. So here, I'll go into more of that in a minute. But yeah, so when I say treat it like a normal campaign, I mean follow the same rules. If it spends more than 15 with no sales, kill it and add a new ad set every day. And like I said, add the next level up lookalike. Things to keep in mind when you create all 1 through 10% lookalikes for page views. Like let's say it's going good, you keep on adding the next level up every day. Like you start with the 1, 2, and 3%. So the next day you do a 4, as long as it makes a sale, right? So you go all the way up to 10%. What do you do after that? So that's what I mean when you add the next level up. Is first you finish all the 10 percentages for page view, and then once you have all those created, you move on to add to cart, and you should already have enough data to make these audiences and these lookalikes by this point. Just because you waited with the cold traffic and you've been scaling the page views as well. So after you do add to cart, you go to initiate checkout. After you do that, you go to purchase, and then after you do purchase, you can do numerous different things. If it's a video, you can do video views. If you don't have a video, you can go back and recreate ones that didn't work before. They might work once you're at this stage simply because you have a lot more data and they'll optimize better. So I hope that that wasn't too much information too soon or too quickly, but just a little recap. You want to start up your multiple country lookalike campaign, and then you want to treat it like a normal campaign. So if it's, as like the second it makes a sale, follow these rules. If an ad set spends more than 15 with no sales, kill it, and you want to add the next level up lookalike every day. So if all you have is the 1, 2, and 3% and it makes a sale, you want to add a 4%, and then the next day you want a 5%. And then once you hit 10%, you want to move on to the 1% add to cart. So I hope that that covers everything in here. You can rewatch it, help you get an understanding, comment below, whatever. I'm moving on. So same thing, you want to continue this scaling process as long as it's profitable. Okay, that's a key. You don't want to scale this if it's not making you money. It doesn't make any sense. But as soon as you hit 30 to 40 sales, begin breaking it down. This is what I do for everybody. This is how I figure out what countries I should be making lookalikes in. So I don't know if you recall, but when we make the worldwide campaign for cold traffic, the whole goal is to bring it to 30, 40 sales and then break it down by country and then add new campaigns targeting only that country. And that's how we stack data. Well, now we're doing essentially the same thing except with lookalikes. So we start with the multiple country lookalikes, and then we begin breaking down by country just to single them out. Now, once you have cold traffic and lookalikes are a bit different. Lookalikes are a lot more structured. They should be a lot more consistent. So the results of this are astounding. Like all of my clients, we have 3, 4 campaigns that are doing really well because we follow this strategy. And those are bringing in sales every day. So let me just walk you through so that you get a better understanding of what I mean. So you want to break down your multiple country lookalike campaign and figure out like which countries are going to be performing the best. So if you follow the strategy, you should have 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 countries in this campaign. And essentially they're going to optimize for the country that's bringing in the most sales. So you're going to be able to break this down and look at which lookalikes are performing the best. Now, you might be surprised, like sometimes the lookalikes will optimize completely different than cold traffic. So with your cold traffic campaign, you might have United States doing the absolute best, but in a lookalike multiple country campaign, you might have Canada doing the best. So just keep that in mind and make sure that you're paying attention to what the data says and not what you think it says, because you need to look at actual numbers and not just assume that it's going to be the same, because it's not always like that. So once you figure out which countries are doing the best, and at the same time, I want to jump back a little bit and say 30 to 40 sales is minimum, okay? Sometimes I'll wait until 70 or 80 to start breaking it down. Okay, it really depends on like how it's going, like how fast the sales are coming in, and also how much data is in there. Like if there's not 5 clear countries that I can break down by, I'm not even going to break it down, because you want to get more data and really figure out what's going to work the best. So now that I got that out of the way, let's just get right into this. So you want to create lookalikes for page views inside of the top country for your multiple country campaign. So you break down the multiple country campaign, figure out what country works the best, and then make lookalikes for page views in that country. So, and then you want to do the same thing, create a new campaign, and then you want to start a 1, 2, and 3% lookalike for the winning country, and you only want to target one country in these. So we're basically figuring out what's working and then just creating a new campaign for it. So again, you just want to treat it the same way you did with the multiple country campaign. Make sure you follow the rules. If it spends more than 15, kill it. Add a new ad set every day and just continue to scale that one up. And then basically just rinse and repeat. Eventually you'll have a few campaigns or a ton of campaigns, depending on how it goes, of cold traffic and lookalikes that you are scaling, each of those bringing in loads of profits and growing every day. This is exactly how I grow stores from scratch. You can see how everything kind of puts together like a puzzle. Everything that I do from day one sets me up in the position to do the very last step, which is breaking down the multiple countries and all that. So this whole strategy, I follow it with almost everybody, and it just works. So if you follow this, you'll be in the position where you just have multiple campaigns, bringing in profits, growing exponentially because you keep adding to it. And a lot of people ask me, like, how do I grow stores with just $5 a day budgets on my ads? And the easy answer to that is because, well, for one, obviously I have a lot of ads, but for two, I have a strategy where completely focused on doing more of what's actually working, which not a lot of people do. A lot of people just kind of throw shit out there and like hope that it works, and then they increase the budgets of what does work, which it works for some people, but that's not how I can do things, because as you know, I own an agency, and for clients, like I don't want to just be doing that. Like I need something that's predictable. I need to be able to look at somebody and tell them that I have something that has worked for 10, 15 stores. It's a proven strategy, a process. So this is exactly how I do it. And this strategy has changed a lot since I've learned. It's made a lot of changes, and it's always going to be changing, based on what's working. But that's just marketing for you. I always have to keep on looking for new things that are working and things that stop working. So 3 months from now, this probably is going to be a little bit different. It's definitely not going to be the same, maybe a little bit different. But this is kind of going to give you an idea of how you take a store from, 0 pixel data, 0 sales, do the product testing, and then find a winning product with 2 to 3 sales, and then bring it to 100, 150 sales, right? Which this is like, honestly, this is like where a lot of people get lost. They just don't know the correct steps to like take it from that first step of getting like 4 sales, 3 or 4 sales, and bring it up to that point where it's ready for lookalikes. Like that's where a lot of people get lost. And then this is where a lot of people just have no idea what to do, because it's to me, obviously it's very simple, because this is what I do. This is what I teach like every day for the past like year. But to you, it might not be, but it might be cool to see how everything kind of gets put together.
What's up? That was the end of the video. I hope you guys got a ton of value out of this series. I might do a part 4, just talking about different things that you can do on the back end. I might have my partner Dennis come in, talk about email marketing, but that's it for this video. I hope you guys got a ton of value, and it was really enjoyable. This series was fun to make. It was fun to put together, see my strategy written down on paper, all that sort of thing. But as for this video, or as for this series for now, let me know if you want a part 4. But for this video, this is Noah Brewer, and I'm out. Peace.